Hey, how you doing?
Good, Martin. Thank you so much for joining the show. I have to say, as a child of the '80s, it is so wonderful to revisit this iconic universe of the Karate Kid again. And I think one of the big questions I had when I found out I was going to get to talk to Martin Kove, I'm going to get to talk to Sensei, is what was it like for you when you first got the call about, we're thinking about bringing Cobra Kai back? Who was it that called you and what were your thoughts?
I spoke to one of the writers named Josh Heald. And Josh and I, we had, I think the three of us, we met in a restaurant in Los Angeles, and they told me about what they wanted to do. And I liked it. They were very persuasive, but they knew their stuff. They knew the Karate Kid movies. They knew our characters, and they were going to develop. The things I was interested in was I wanted backstories. I wanted Vietnam. I wanted to find out so the audience could find out why this guy was such a beast. And he was, one-dimensional in those movies. It was black hats and white hats. Now, these, nobody could foresee how well these people would write. And everything they write is multifaceted. It's all gray. The characters are gray. They have problems. People identify with the problems. It's different than the movies in the 80s. We're pretty much, Billy and I were the black hats, and the white hats were Miyagi and Daniel,
And it was, Martin, it was one of the questions that came up the most when I asked our listeners today what they wanted to know is this show has made you rethink everything that we knew about every character. And have there been moments where you felt like, wow, Daniel is really the villain? Or, has there been any of that for you other than your character that really kind of surprised you or had you kind of blown away about their development and what was truly going on with them?
Yeah, it really does. Because you see, of course, in the last 5 years, you hear the dialogue of Daniel use an illegal kick called the crane kick. Mm-hmm. And Ralph is great. Ralph is not the white hat anymore, which is very interesting for people, and Billy is, irreverent and belligerent, but he's funny doing it because he's had a horrible 10 years, 20 years since he had a job, and it's really fascinating to see where they go back to. And they always seem to go back to areas that are legitimate. That when they went back with me in the men's shelter, and I had that scene with Billy telling him how rough it was for me, it's legitimate. People have many times on top of their game, and then it goes down. And then they just have to pick themselves up again. So I think it's great. I think it's just great to know these stories.
And speaking of going back, how was it for you to have your son Jesse in the flashbacks in season 3? Were you able to be on set when he was playing his parts?
Oh yeah, he auditioned. He was the only one who auditioned, but they wanted to audition him, and he was wonderful. And he did a good job. And I walked on the set, and it was the diner scene, and I wasn't working that day. And as soon as I walked in, I didn't even get a chance to say hello or how is he doing or whatever. The writers pulled me aside as soon as I walked in the diner, and they said, he's killing it. He's killing it, Martin, And it made me feel so good because I've seen the scene many times. And, he's really, really good. He wishes he played Barrett's part, but, they wanted someone who looked more like me and as young Kreese. And he's so happy to be part of the legacy of the show. And they love him so much, the writers. They'll write something else for him. But, my son and I have done a lot of movies together, and he's very formidable as an actor. But his love to be part of this game, the legacy of Karate Kid, is huge. Really huge.
Was there a time where you sat your son, Jesse, down and said, hey, kid, you need to watch this thing that I did?
That's a very interesting question. I think it was very creative, and it was always into cinema. I can remember from the years 10 years old. So I think he saw the movie, during that period of time, because at that time, I think we were all just doing autograph shows. That was it. There was a period of time where, you do the autograph shows, and that was the only reference because movies don't get re-released in theaters very often. You watch them all on cable.
Yep.
And then, of course, streaming. And I think that's how he saw it. But I would always ask, he would always come to me and ask about these characters. and he would be fascinated by that. Daddy is such a bad guy. Daddy is such a bad guy, And I said he wasn't the villain, Jesse. He's just a bit misunderstood. That's all.
Well, and isn't that the truth now we're seeing in all of these characters? We misunderstood everything, which is a true sort of a testament to how we go through all of our lives and sort of exploring the fact that not everybody is the version that we see of them, and having some compassion for that and being able to sort of share that now with your son and so many parents I know sharing it with their kids in a universe that we loved so much, and it's being so well written. We're just so excited to have Cobra Kai back, to have you back, to have so many people back, and to have this amazing story continue. Thank you so much, Martin, for being on the show. We hope there's many more seasons to come of Cobra Kai, and we look forward to following along and seeing where John Kreese is heading.
No, you're very kind. Thank you for your enthusiasm and your inspiration. There's going to be great shows because they write well, and there'll be lots of surprises. Looking forward
to
what
it.
It's all about.
All right. Thank you so much, Martin. We're looking forward to more. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.